many of the Google tools are present that will help you do that. We'll tell you specifically what. We have Google Classroom. Along with that, we'll have to use Google Forms and Google Calendars. Then we'll have Google Meet, which is right now being integrated to the Google Classroom itself. Then we have Google Drive. We have Google Sites. We have used that previously also. And there is a new tool which is there, which is Google Assignment, which is still now in a very dormant stage. You are requested by Google to access their Google assignments, but most of the features that were part of the assignment are now being integrated back to the Google Classroom. So we don't have a very large need of using Google assignment as such. So yeah, so we'll focus on the Google Classroom very specifically. This will be the outline. We'll start with the Google Classroom, their settings and all. We'll talk about the creation, adding people, using Meet for the classes. Then we'll talk about the assignments that we can do, then grading. And if the time permits, we'll go for some of the additional features like using rubrics for grading or using some Google Form features. So Google Classroom, some of the history of that. It started in 2014, which means it's pretty much new. It's a kind of learning management system. Technically, we're talking about a classroom and how to manage things related to the classroom, like assignments, delivery of lectures, contents, and all those things, and managing their grades as well as their submissions, all of them together in a single place. And one big plus point of this is you can use it over your web browser, whatever you have, or you have the apps for Android and iOS. So it makes it very easier. And obviously it has higher upper hand of that we are using Gmail every day. So most of the things are integrated to the Gmail that you use, nothing else. Okay, we'll skip this. This is most of the things that we have already discussed about. And these are some of the plus points. Again, I will share the slides. You can go through it. Now, let us talk about what type of accounts we can see in Google Classroom. We have three types. One is teacher, second one is student, third one is administrator. Now, administrator can manage most of the classes and view all the classes and see whatever is going on. Teachers can create classes, assignments, and all of them, deliver lecture, deliver assignments. Students can basically submit assignments over there, participate on the classroom works and all. So to understand the limitation of Google Classroom, you have to understand there are three types of Gmail accounts. One is your personal account, like this personal Google account that's ends with @gmail.com. There is Google Suite account that we are normally using here, which is @mnit.ac.in. And there is a similar one, which is a school account, similar to G Suite, but it is paid. You have to purchase that. So depending on what type of account you have, some of the features are enabled or disabled for you. So some of the limits that you have to understand is for G Suite for Education, you can have up to 20 teachers in a single class and up to 1,000 students in a single class. For a personal account, you can still have the 20 teachers, but the number of students is bound to 250. Right now, MNIT's account is in between these two. For this time being, Google probably offered us 1,000 participants in a class, but meanwhile it will stop and we'll be jumping back to 250 class limit. So we have to keep that in mind, that how many we can do. So some of the additional work that you can do in a G Suite account, or you cannot do, is you cannot have a Meet integration, or you cannot have an originality report, or you cannot have a people from the other domains. We'll show that. But this 1 and 2 are actually integrated in our subscription. So we can actually use Meet, we can use originality report also. There are limitations, we'll come to that. But you have to be very sure when you are using Google Classroom with @mnit.ac.in, you cannot add people with other domain. Like if someone @gmail.com is trying to log into your classroom, they cannot. So you have to be very sure that all the students have that MNIT email ID, so that you can add to the classroom if you're creating the classes from your institute ID. So that is one domain you have to remember. This is some limits that they have provided, how many participants you can add each day, how many requests you can send, how many people can be there. And this is actually available in the Google site, so you can find it out. So jumping back to the actual need, we can log into Google Classroom in two ways. One is you can directly type classroom.google.com, or you can actually start from the app drive. We'll show that after some times. We'll jump from the slide to the actual demo and we'll see that. Some of the things that I cannot demonstrate right now, I will show it here. Like the first time you are using Classroom, they will ask for the acceptance of their terms and conditions. You have to accept this. Then this is one important part. After you accept, they might ask you that are you a teacher or you are a student. Now, if you are from your personal account at the @gmail.com account, once you select a student or a teacher, you can go back to the settings and change. But if you're using MNIT, once you select this, you cannot change it yourself. You have to ask the administrator to change the role. So be very specific to add yourself as a teacher so that you don't have this problem of going back. In case some of the persons in MNIT, I heard that they are by default as a student, so you have to contact your administrator to reset the role so that you can become a teacher. Okay, you cannot change some of the things yourself, and you have to use the ask the administrator's permission to do that. Anyhow, so the other things I will directly go to the demonstration and show. I have the slides, I can share the slides, but I will prefer to directly use the classroom. Okay, so this is one. I will just, so how to, as I was saying that there is another way of finding it out. You can go to any Gmail page, you will find out this Google Apps option. You can click it over there and you will find Classroom on the palette that you have. Now, there is one feature that you probably are aware of. You can rearrange this, like click and hold, and you can rearrange this apps as per your usage. Anyhow, if you click over there, you will go back to the Classroom that you have. Yeah. Okay, so many of us are using multiple Gmail accounts together, already logged in your browser, and you might not end up in the required Classroom. So you have to change you might have to change your accounts. So you can go back to your Office account and you can have multiple classrooms. So that is one thing you have to be careful about. Anyhow, so after coming here, okay, so this is my general dashboard that I can see. This is the generic menu, the main menu. This is the Classroom. This is the add or join classes. And this is the area where you will find out all the active classes that you have created, right? So any of the classes you click and you can go into that. So first, when you are here, we'll come to that. Yeah. So this is the 5 classes that we have already created. Let's say that if you want to create a new class, you have to click on this create or join class, which is this plus button. If you click on that, you will have these 2 options. Now you have 2 options: join class or create class. Join class means there is already a class floated by someone else and you want to join as a student. So join class simply means you are a student, right? Or if you are a teacher, you have to create a class if it is not existent, and when you click that, you will get this. There are 4 options over there. You can find out there is a class name, there is section, there is subject, and there is room. Now, apart from the class name, none of them are mandatory. So you have to give a class name. Let's write paste class. Sections you can add if you are taking a particular section. You can add over there. If you have a broader subject area, you can write over there just for your information, nothing else. And if you have a particular room number where you generally take this lecture, you can add this information. Nothing else. It's just simple information. It does not change anything apart from that. Now, when you create, the classes will be created. Again, if you click the class button and you cannot find a create class option, it means that your role is a student. So you have to contact your administrator and say that change back our role to a teacher. Otherwise, you will not find it out. Okay, again, I will show what I meant over there. If you click over there and you cannot find this create class option, it simply means that your role is student and you have to ask your administrator to change it back to a teacher. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, so I can find out that I should have a new class. Yeah, so this new class has been added over there, named as a test class. Okay, so let's go inside that and see what we have over there. So if you just click on the class name, you will find out this class homepage where you have multiple things over there. These are the 4 options that you have. One is a stream, classwork, people, and grades. This is your class banner. You can change the design from here. You can either select a theme or you can upload photo. This is the class code. We'll come to that later on. Class code is a unique code assigned to each of the classes that is over there. And then you have this meet link. Right now it will tell you the generate meet link. We'll come to that. What is that? This is the notification area for the calendar. If you have any upcoming event, like you have a deadline for a particular assignment, it will come over there. And this is the stream. Stream is like simple your any social media where all the notifications come in a time bound manner, sequence according to the time. So everything that you post in your class will come here according to the timeline. So that is one thing where you can find everything. Now, before jumping into what you can do, let us explore what options we have. Now we have 2 types of options. One, you will find a generic class option from here, the home page, or you can find out class specific settings over there. So we'll explore both of them one by one. To find the generic class option, you have to click over there. When you click, all the classes will be shown over here, and finally you will find out the settings. And if you click there, you will get a page suggesting all the options for all the classes in general, nothing else. So if you scroll down, you will find out the notification, the first important thing. First one is the email, means each one there for each event that happens on your class, are you going to get an email or not? So this options, when it is on, it simply means that you are going to get an email out of this for each of the posts that you have. Now, secondly, how do you want your comments to appear on your classroom? You have multiple options. First is the comments on your post. If you want comments on your post in the classroom, you have to click OK. If you don't want, you just switch it off from there. Similarly, you have the contents that mention you. You have the private comments on works. For the classes, you have the late submission of the student. When it is one, it simply says that after the deadline is over for a particular assignment, are you allowing the student to submit or not? If you switch off this, then students will not be able to submit your assignment after the deadline that you specify. You will come to the deadlines when you post the assignments. Secondly, resubmission of the student work. If you turn it on, then what will happen? Students will be able to submit multiple assignments. Multiple submission for a particular assignment. Right? So they can resubmit. If they are not satisfied with the previous submission, they can resubmit. They can change and resubmit. Or you can stop that from there. You can stop invitation to the other co-teachers. We'll come to that. And do you want a notification on a scheduled class or not? Secondly, you have this class notifications over there. And if you click there, you will find out notification for each of the classes. Nothing else. You will find out all the classes that you've created over here. Suppose all of the classes are not active. Therefore, you don't want notifications for all of them. You don't want to junk your email. So you can just turn off their notifications individually per class over there. So that gives you more of a control on what you can do and what you cannot do. Okay, so going back to the class, we have a class specific settings for which you can go to this gear. and you can simply click on that to get this class details. Now we have a very important features over there that has to be used or for your classes. First one is the same information that you have seen while creating the class, which simply tells you that you can change the names and other information about the class later on also from here. Second is when you go to general setting, the first thing you will get the class code. We have seen in the banner also, the same class code you have seen. Now, there is a drop down. If you click over there, you will get options like display. If you click on display, it will be displayed in a bigger manner. We'll talk about what is the use of this later on. Let us explore the other things. There is a copy. You can simply click that and it will be copied to your clipboard. You can reset. While you reset, this code will change. It will create another unique code for your class. Again, we'll discuss about that. And finally, you can disable it. Once you disable, the code will not be visible. Anyhow, the code will be internal to the classroom, but it will not be visible. Okay. Secondly, you have the stream option. By default, it will be like students can post and comment. Means they can independently create a new post, or they can comment on the existing post, or you can restrict student not to post anything, but they can only comment on existing. Means the comments post can be done by the teacher and student can only comment on that. Finally, if you don't want student to discuss anything over the classroom, you have the third option where you can just restrict the teachers to post and comment, nothing else. Okay, so the notification, this is the stream that we have already seen. This is to control that. You want to show all the attachments by default, or you want a contracted version of the notification, or you want to hide all the notifications. As simple as that. But one thing which is important is the show deleted items or not. Means if the student has done something then deleted later on, do you want to see what the student had posted or not? Because you want a better control, right? So by default it is off, but if you want to see what student has deleted, you have to switch this on and click the save button. This is how you are going to see all the deleted items also. Now the final thing is you can find out the meet option, which is very, very important right now. So this meet option, initially there is no generate meet option. So by default it is like you are not taking a class. But if you are willing to take a class over Classroom, you have to first click on this generate meet link. Once you click over there, you will find out that it will create a link like this. This is the link that Meet will be using to host the online lectures, right? So this link will be used further for the classes. Now, this option is very, very important. It is visible to the students or not. If you click this on the student page, they'll be able to see the link, the same link they will be able to see. Okay, so why should I turn this off? The basic thing is, even if you are not there in the class, student can go to this link and have the meet. They can simply join without your presence. You might not want that because you don't know what they are doing on this when you are not present on the class. So probably if you are not taking a class at a particular time, or if you have not scheduled any class, you can just turn this visibility off so that student cannot use that link or cannot use that classroom. Okay, so that's a simple thing. Finally, the most important part, how to grade. So by default, there is no overall grade. You can assign particular numbers to each of them. But if you are using, suppose, partial numbering of your course on Classroom, then you may not want that. So you can say the no overall grade. That means I don't want to combine everything to 100. Okay. But if you are actually willing to add everything to this class, then you have to click on that and change. There are two options if you want to have an overall grade. First is your total points, means whatever assignment you give, the summary will be summation of all of them and average of all of them and given in a percentile. That's as simple as that. But you might need a weighted average. For example, this is a very big use for us, which simply says that for a course, for a theory course, you have 80% which is exam and 20% which is CWS. Now, it is not necessary that I have to take 20 marks of internal, right? So I can do an weighted average and assign classes. For example, if I click weighted by category, uh, it will ask you to add grade category over there, right? Before that, you can there is a option called show overall grade to students or not. If you want the students to see the overall grade or not, that's simply. Otherwise, if you want to intend to publish the overall grade somewhere else, you just keep this off. The student will not be able to see the overall percentile they are getting out of this. Anyhow, so let's say that we have a course where you have 20% examination and 80% in the examination and 20% internal marks. What you are going to do? You add a grade category. Let's say exam, and the percentage will be 80. And if you look at that clearly, each time you click on that, you will find out remaining option that is coming, which will tell you that how much percentage is left. You have to equal to 100. That's the basic idea. Otherwise, you cannot proceed. So you see that I have created only 80% over there, and this save button is not active. So unless and until I complete 100, this will not be active. So after that, let's say I have created another, and I will write CWS, and I will write 20%. Once I add this 20%, remaining becomes 0, and your save button becomes active. So we'll look at what is the implication of this while posting the assignment. We'll come to that. So let's, for the time being, say that let's save it and see what exactly happens to the class. So yes, you can change the breakup. You can go to the settings. Yeah, you can go to the settings simply, and you can change it. You can go to 30, but whenever you're writing 30, you have to change the other part and go save. It changes the marks. Nothing else. When you go to the grades, the overall computation of the grades will be affected. Others, because evaluation remains same, just the integration of the marks to grade the overall will change. Nothing else. So let us come back to the stream, and this is where you start. And let us discuss about the meet before posting the assignment. So coming back to this class, before going to the lecture, we have to understand how to add people to this. So let's simply go to this people's page. When you click that, there are two options. One is teacher, one is student, and you can add teachers. You can invite teachers by clicking over there. Invite teachers, you click over there, type their email. Make sure that their email is on the same domain. Means if this class is hosted on MNIT, you have to make sure that the teacher's ID is also at @mnit.ac.in. Otherwise, you cannot send. For example, if I say this is a institute ID, if I say my personal email ID to this, and if I try to invite that, it will give you an error like this, and it will say that it's from the different domain and you cannot add them. As simple as that. So you have to make sure that they are on the same domain. Now, second is, which is the crucial part, is how to add student to this. Now, the simplest one is clicking over there and adding their ID, but you understand that there are 100 or 120 students per class. Then how do you do that? There are two ways of doing it. First, you can go to the class, go back to the stream, click on the class code display mode, and this will be displayed. What student can do is, I will open another page called the student. This is a student page, suppose, and let's go back to their home page. Yeah. So yeah, let me organize this. So if you click over there, this will be displayed, and student has to open their classroom, click this, click join class, and enter this code. Now, if I enter this code, this will not work because this class, this student is on a Gmail domain, but this class is hosted on an MNIT domain. So they will not be able to join. Like if I simply copy this and paste it over there and try to join, it will not be possible. But if I have a class over there which is in Gmail domain, then it is possible. So anyhow, I don't have a separate second Gmail account, so MNIT account, so I cannot really show how to add. Anyhow, this is how they can join. And the second option is going to people and adding students. Now you can say, how can I add so many students? uh, Ravi sir has already joined with this code, so yeah, that demonstrated. So, but the other part is, you want a class restricted to the student registered for the class. How can you do that? It's very simple actually. For MNIT, it's very simple. You can open your ERP and download the registered student list Excel file, right? So you have this Excel. For example, I have this Excel with me, which is downloaded for a particular course. I can select all the students, all the email ID like this from the Excel file. I can do a copy on that, and I can simply pick over invite students, and I can do a paste on that. It will take some time, and it will add all the recipients then and there. It becomes very, very easy. Download the registered student list, copy the entire column of the students, paste it over there, it will show, right? And once you click invite, the invitation mail will be sent to all of those students if they have a valid email there, or valid role as a student over there, and they can join, right? So like if I go to another class, or I can I just created one test class for this purpose with my students previously. I have created all the students to this particular class, and you can find out 79 students has already accepted, but not all of them. Like this says invited, means they have not accepted yet. Once they accept, they will become valid, and you can select and do certain works. So let's go back to the other options. So this is how you can join the classes. So once you can do that, we can start a meet link. So for meeting, you can simply post the time over there. Like this is yeah. So this is my basic web page, and you can find out this Google link, Meet link over there. You will simply click there. It will take you to the Google Meet platform, and that will ask you to start the meeting. It should come over there, and it is getting ready probably, and it is a bit slow. Okay, one of the things actually I learned it from sir, that there is a app through which you can take attendance, right? So there is this application called Chrome application, to be specific, which is called Google Meet Attendance. If you install that, it will track all the attendees who are entering the class for the time being. And you can find out, download an CVS format on Excel format that will give you which student had entered at which time. So that information can be downloaded directly from there. And yeah, so this is a Chrome extension. It is an add-on. I mean, you have to open the add extension. Chrome extension. When you add it, it will come over there, and it will get activated when each time you open a Meet page, and it will start tracking whoever is entering the class. So it becomes very, very easy to manage the classes. So once is there, you have two options. One is join now, other one is present. Yeah, the class list is over there. Each time you have this class, each people are entering, you can find out there. But it stays over there. Each time you start a new class, you should actually reset or erase the existing list, so that new one. Otherwise, it gets merged. Each time you attend a new class, they get merged to it. So don't do that. Try to erase before you start the meeting. Anyhow, so you have two options: join now and present. If you are a presenter, and if you want to present something on your system, you should go for a present, and it will ask you to what to present and so on. And it will give you the screen talking about which what you want to share. Either you can select a particular application or tab, or you can share your entire screen or a particular application as you want. So you have this option with you. I will just stop from there. Hanged. Kind of hold on a minute. The system has. Okay, let me see what we can do. Is possible, but the presentation from your mobile, uh, it was not present previously. I think right now they have added, but it the display is not that good. I mean, will not prefer. You can conduct the class there because when this classroom app is there, you put the classroom and start conducting online. But sharing presentation with the student, sometimes so that is laptop or that. In the laptop desktop, you can do all the features. Sir, better you use your laptop. No, no, sir. In mobile, in the classroom, and all the features are there. What is feature? So, I think by the time being, you can start downloading.
So your voice is not audible.
Majumdar, please switch on your microphone.
I think
Majumdar,
the microphone is off.
Majumdar, switch on your microphone.
He is not hearing.
Majumdar, can you listen to me? Majumdar.
Now, is it audible? Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. I will go back to this. Okay. We'll start with this. We'll jump back to my personal account so that I can show with certain students, with more than one student. So when you click over there in the assignment announcement, you can click over, write something like announcement 1, and you have this option called test 1, which is the class name and all students. What you can do is right now it will be sent to all the students of this particular class. Now you can tweak this in two ways. Either you can send it to particular students, for which you have to click this all student and select those who you want to send. Like I just want to send the second person. If I select this, it will automatically say one student. If I post, it will go to that student only. Others will not be able to see that. Secondly, let's say I want to post it across multiple classes. Suppose you have multiple sections and you have different classes. How do you want to share the same announcement to multiple persons? Then you have to click over there, test. When you click over there, all your classes that you have created will come over there, and you can select multiple classes and you can post. But you have to make sure, you have to see that once you click more than one class, selection of student gets deactivated. You cannot customize students when you are posting across multiple classes. That is one thing which you have to take care. Now, so while posting, you can add things, add materials to it if you want. If you want to send some PPT or some video, so if you click there, you will find out there are four options. You have YouTube link. You can find out a particular file that you want to send. You can send a particular link of some web page that you want to share with the students, or you want to share something that already exists on your Google Drive. Now remember, when you are not, if a file is there on your Google Drive and you send it as a file, what will happen? Each time you attach a file, it gets uploaded to your Google Drive. So if the file is already there in Google Drive, it will create multiple copies of that unnecessary. So if you have the file already in your Google Drive, try to add it as a Google Drive file. So it will reduce the redundancy of the files. And the last option is post, but there is another drop down menu over there. And if you click, it will be post then and there, or you can save as a draft, means you don't want to post over there, you have not prepared it till now, so it will be there. Or you can schedule. Once you schedule, suppose I have a lecture at 10:30 and I'm preparing it early, so I can go to a schedule and I can select a date and a time where you want this to post. Suppose you want a particular link for examination and you don't want to give it before the relevant time. So you can create this post and assign a particular time when the students will receive this assignment or announcement. So that is one which is very, very important. And you want to, then you simply post it. And once you post this, it will go to all the students that are part of that. Let's simply say, we'll add one student and we'll see what happens to that. So just for disaggregation, the left hand side is the teacher's dais and the right hand side is the student's dais. And the student is already added to this test class. And if you open that, you can find out that the student has received this particular assignment at 9:50 when I actually posted that. Okay, so this is a very simple announcement, but apart from that, you want your assignments to be there. To post an assignment, you have to go to this classwork that you have over there, this classwork. If you click over there, it will give you the possibility of adding multiple questions. So when you open that, it will just first tell you whatever assignments are already posted. And if you want to create a new assignment, you have to click on create, and you have multiple options. Most of there are multiple things, will not have all of the things. Specifically, there is assignment, quiz assignment, question, and material is similar to something we have done. And reuse post means already you have one post and you have to reuse and change just the content. It remains similar to that, just like that. So first three are important and independent types of questions. If I click on assignment, which is the first one, you will get something like this. I will just full screen for the time being. Okay, when you click over there, you will get this title of the assignment, what you want to say. If you want to describe it over there, you can describe it over there. You just write the descriptions, or if you want to add something, you can do it. Or if you want a Google Doc to be added to the assignment, you can also click on create and do this. Now, if you want the students to answer in this particular doc only, that also possible. Like, I want the student to write the assignment in this particular doc. I will click on the doc. Whenever I do, a new Google Doc will be created. But normally, this doc is common for all the students. I will just close this doc for the time being, and I will go back to this. So this is the untitled document, so I can change the document there. Right now, the option for the document is student can view file, means they can read it as a question. Maybe you have a big question. But if you want the student to answer over there, you can go for students can edit. But if you select this, all the edits will happen on a single file that you don't want. But if you want the students to work on this file only, you have to take the third option, which is called make a copy for each student. When you click this, independent document similar to the template that you have added will be sent to all the students, and they can modify and write their answer there only, and that will be submitted as an assignment. So that is one thing. So I will select that for the time being. For whom I can select over there, the same option that you have seen previously. Now these points tell you how do you want to grade this, how much percentage you want to give there. So this is the percentage. If you want 100 out of 100, you can write it over there. Or if you click over there, it will say ungraded. Some of the assignments that you don't want to grade it, you just simply click on ungraded. It will not be graded and added to the. But if you have put points over there, that will be added to the overall grading. But you can reduce that to maybe 10 or 20 marks that you want. Next one is the due date. When do you want to fix the deadline for assignment? Because this assignment means the students has to give you something back. They have to do the assignment and give the assignments back. So you can just simply add a due date by just clicking. I will go back to there. Click on no due date. You will find out this. Click on no due date once again. You will find out this calendar. You can select a particular date. Time is optional, which means 11:59.59 p.m. is your deadline by default. But if you want to change that, you can just simply click on the time optional, which is this is by default will be coming, or you can change this and you have to simply type the actual number that you want. So once this is done, topic is something else is to organize. That will not do that because it will. Okay, so rubrics is not activated because this is not a Emanity account. So personal account rubrics is not possible. I will show that in this. Let's going back to the institute account, and if I go to the classwork and I will create an assignment, I can show you two different things over there. Two additional, actually three additional things. First of all, Let's say this is the assignment 1. I don't want the same. You have all the students. Now let's add a due date, probably not a time, which is tomorrow. Then topic. Now you can have a rubric. Clicking there, you can select how do you want to grade your assignment. So for grading, rubrics becomes very, very important. Secondly, there is a originality report option, and Google runs that independently. Remember that Google will allow you only 3 originality reports per class. You cannot use more than 3. So once you click, it will tell you actually that how many checkings you are pending. So how do they check? They will go across all the data available over the internet that Google can track and check with their data, and tell you where the matches occur. Once you click there, the originality report will come, and the student will also be able to see the originality report that will be generated out of it. But remember that for a particular class, only 3 times you can use this. Means 3 assignment can have this originality report assigned with that. Okay, now if you remember, this class we have created with the weighted average. We have created 2 parts. One is examination, the other one is CWS. Now for that, you can see an additional thing called a grade category over there. Now grade category, if I don't select and if I try to assign, it will tell you that no grade selected, because unless you select this, it cannot contribute to the 100%, because you have to weight that. So you have to go back and select one particular category to which it belongs. Suppose something that goes to an examination, you can select exam, or something that goes to your CWS, you select that, which means this value will be taken down as 20% of the overall grading. So this is what you can do as an assignment. Okay, the second type, I will skip the quiz for the time being. I will directly go to the third one, which is a quiz. It is specifically for interactive question answer. It's a single question posted directly to the students, and student can reply there, then and there on that. Okay, so you can also put a due date to that if you don't want to that, but you can use that as a polling also. What it simply means, see, when you go to this question, let's say question is Q1, and there are options what type of question this is. If you click there, you will see there are short answer or multiple choice question. Right, there are 2 options, but whenever you select multiple choice questions, as you have seen in Google form, the similar things will come, except you cannot reorder the options. In Google, you can reorder the options of the multiple choice questions. This is you cannot do over there. So this is the option that you give. But what +point it delivers is it can work as a polling, which means they can give an answer, and directly on a live class, they can see how many students have chosen which option. For example, let's say there are 2 options, and there is a particular category which is a CWS. If you want to grade that, or if you don't grade that, you just select no category, which means it will not contribute to the 100%. Just you want to ask this question. Once you ask this question, yes sir. No, but we have to sum of it to 100%. Each time you add a category, it will show how many percentage is remaining. So you have to make it exactly 100. So once you post this question, you can go back to any student's classroom, and you will see that question is being asked over there. So the student's view will be something like, where did I post? I did not post it. Okay, sorry. I made a blunder. I added to there. Let's just simply add a question over there for the students Q1, and multiple choice question, option 1, option 2. Now this live, okay. I will just, okay. Yeah, so this was one of the test quizzes that we have done. if you open this, you have to go to the view assignment, and you will see that on and live you can see how many students are clicking on what option. I mean, you can keep this dias on and ask the student to select one particular option, and it will update here one after another, and it will show how many options are coming. The student can see the same thing once they answer. Once they answer, they can actually sorry. They can actually see this after answering, that how much they can use over there, and how many students think which is the right answer. I mean, you can take the feedback from the student. Another option that I have heard, or I have used myself, is like I have used this for attendance. I've created one quiz, and I said just click on the attended option. So whoever are present at that moment can just click on that, and you will get the how many people have clicked on the attended option, and you will get an idea of whoever are actually attending the lecture actively. That means they're listening to you. Okay, so let's go back to this, and let's say this is a question. I will go back and edit 100 points and ask. Okay, so the last thing apart from this is the quiz assignment. If you click over there, it will land you into Google form. You can create your MCQs or questions over a Google form. I think most of you have used Google form, so you can open there and then share. You can limit the time where you want to access. You can select a Google no dues or deadline to it and send it to it. A student can open that and take the quiz. And as you know, that Google form can be automatically evaluated whenever you want. But yeah, we'll not go into this because we don't have much of a time. Rather, we'll go directly to the grading system, and we'll go to the 4th page that you have seen as a grading. This is the grade page. Because we've selected show overall grade. Yes, sir. Auto submission. No, they have to click turn in. Otherwise, that is, I mean, that is one minus point that you have. But there is only one thing, two things you can do. Either you can give a late submission, and you find out who have submitted late. It will come over there. Each of the submission, you will see who have submitted late and by how much time. And according to that, you can do, or you can stop accepting answer after a time, which means after they cross the time limit, they will not be able to submit. So that way you can restrict people. But yeah, auto submission is not directly available. Okay, so this is one option. This is the grades that you can find out, and you can find out that according to the category, the percentages that you can find out. The overall grades will come according to the weightage that you have assigned for each of the questions. This is a simple average, so you can find out over there. And this grading only comes when the student turn in, means they have submitted the assignment over there. Okay, for a particular reason, you might want to download the submitted assignment. I mean, to overall grades. How do you see what numbers you have assigned? For that, you cannot do it directly, but open any of the questions. And when you open any of the questions, this dash will come and it will tell you how many have turned in, how many are assigned. Anyhow, you go to this gear button on the top right corner. If you click over there, it will give you 3 options. Copy all grades to the Google Sheet, download all grades to the CVS, and download these grades to the CVS. The third option is for specifically this question only. If you want an overall result that you have created in the grades, just do copy all grades, or the second option. Let's see that we click over there. and all the values that are assigned or the marks that you have assigned will go directly to a Google form where you can find out the same information that you can see. So this way you can actually download the assigned grades that you can actually use. So you'll get the student information as well as individual assignment information, how much they have obtained for each of them, and thirdly, the overall percentile the students have obtained. So this is what you can find out or you can download for each of the students. So yeah, I think this is more or less the idea. There is also one thing I will show before doing it. Let's say the student has received this particular question. This is a student has, and they have received the question, last question we have added. Now, this is the question, and to grade, the student must turn in. How does the students turn in? They will have to select this answer, or they have to write their answer, and they have to click this turn in. Unless and until they click this, you cannot grade it. So once you turn in, the teacher can actually find out that one person has submitted the answer. And because it was a poll, you can actually see among the two questions, two options. One option was selected by one person, and if you click over there, it will show all the persons who have clicked on that. Okay, and along with that, your grading option opens here, right, which is one of the important parts. Now, depending on that, you have to grade the student. Suppose you assign 8p, but just writing this does not assign the value. You have to click here and click return. When you return, then only it goes directly added to your grades. So once I click here, I return, the student will be able to see how what percentage we have given, and at the same time you can go to the grades and see that I have given a number to this particular student. Now on the other, because this is blank, you will understand the student has not submitted the answer. So how do you track? You can simply go there and see that the student has not submitted their answer. Otherwise you will see that in a green color telling that up to this what marks you want to assign. So this is more or less the idea, and there are a lot of things because each 2 months you will find out new features, and this is as of April 2020. I'm not updated afterwards. There might be new features and that you can explore, and there are a lot of features here actually. Yeah, so any questions till now?
Is that joining this your class it is very easy. I have just put the link
Right.
And I have entered you this and I have enjoyed your very informative lecture. That is very
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And some of the things I have done in my Zoom when I in the month of March or April I took the exam.
Right, sir.
So in Zoom through this I have gone through this. And through Zoom, I also created some link so that the student can join this at some number.
Right.
Now with this Google, this is the new one. Now the main problem is from my laptop or from my mobile, what I should send to a student so that he can be connected to me. Because all these things through Zoom, most of us have done.
Yes, sir.
But for since you have sent some link to us, how we will send that link to student and how we enter into the Google Classroom. This is the main thing.
Right,
Since
sir.
I am having my mobile, you please tell me how to create and what to send to students so that it link is formed.
Sir, classroom we can create. Classroom we can create.
I'm having app here.
Acha.
I'm having app
Sir,
now.
on mobile I will show that to you. I'm unable to show that directly over there. Yeah, and I can give you the PPT also, sir. There are step-by-step guideline is there.
Outside just class.
Sure, sir. I will show you. Any questions online?
Can you show us that how to manage our study material, topic wise some material time?
Manage it means you want to categorize that.
Yes.
Okay. The simplest is you can go for an announcement because you want to just give the material.
Yes.
So you have to go for an announcement and you add whatever material you want. Now,
Classwork.
I can go over there and I can give the materials here also. But again,
Topic wise.
by default, topics are not required in most of the cases, but suppose you have categories of the classes, like you have multiple things, 3 different subjects combined together on a single one, or then you can go for a topic and you can create topics. This is nothing but creating categories and grouping the things together. Suppose I can simply write category 1 and I will write assignment 1. If I post it and if I go there and to the classwork, you will find out that there are multiple categories. Each time I create a new category, they will come here. It's nothing but how do you want to share different group of assignment into different parts. It's just an organization. And once you have previous assignment which is not categorized, you can drag and drop to a particular category. Like you have decided to create the category later on, still you can do that. Like question 1 and assignment 1 is not categorized, you can simply click and drag and drop to a particular category and it will be added to the category. So this is not exactly a feature to evaluate the students, but this is for the organization of the class. Suppose you have a mathematical background and you have a networking parts, you can, and 2 different people are actually doing them, then you can create 2 different categories and manage different types of assignments into one. Hope this is okay, right? And any other questions? Anyone? So I thank you all for. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for the very informative talk on the classroom.